Hey everyone. Sorry, I'm like totally trying to make sure that my phone doesn't fall. Anyways, I am joining you today with my dear friend, Dr. Jess. She will be joining in a second, and we are going to be talking all about the coronavirus. Oh, hey Jess, I see you there. I'll wait for you to actually ask to join. So we're going to be talking all about the coronavirus. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things. So it's going to be fun. Hang on a second. Let's see if she gets on. I've always fingers crossed with this Instagram live. You just never know. Hi.
Hello,
It
hello.
works. Oh my God.
Yes,
It
it
works.
does.
I'm
Can you
so
hear me
happy.
okay?
How you doing, girl?
Hanging in there, hopefully like the rest of us. It's
Right?
cabin fever and wishing for the best, I think, for most people. You
Yeah.
know?
There's a
Yeah.
lot of cabin fever happening in these parts. I know.
Yeah.
It's so tough. Are you guys self-quarantining? What are you doing?
Yeah. I'm actually in California. So
Yes.
we we've been quarantined. We went to Palm Springs for a couple days, Jason and I, but we've been in the house and really just cooking and cleaning and working out, jogging, whatever. So
There's been a
yeah.
lot of working out. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
That's
I
for sure.
know. I
That's
know,
really bad
right?
thing. People are out in nature more. People are
Just
while social distancing, hopefully, are still at nature. Still, maybe people are picking up new workout plans. Not always be bad for the whole collective.
I
So
agree completely. I know. I don't feel like it's so bad. I mean, for the collective, but I know
yeah,
that I'm not sure. I'm not, okay. I need to be sitting higher or something. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm screwing the whole thing up. The whole setup. It's a disaster or whatever.
it's
I don't
okay.
care. You
It's
can see
okay.
my head. Yes. It's so crazy because I am in Las Vegas right now with my sister. We came to visit her 2 weeks ago, and then we were like, oh shit, we can't really leave
I
because we
I
can't go
just
back to
love
New
your
York.
stories. You
Yeah.
guys have beautiful though.
It's
So
gorgeous. I know,
yeah,
right? Hold on.
but
I'm
you're
just trying to
you're in New
figure this
York
out. Figure
normally,
me out.
right?
I am normally in New York, yes. And so basically we were like, okay, we're not going back to New York. There's just no way. Like, how are we going to go back there right now? And so we're here. I mean, in Vegas, it's actually really gorgeous. We went to Lake Mead, which is where the Hoover Dam is, on the weekend on Saturday. And there were so many people. She said she'd never seen that many people. And then 40,000 people showed up there yesterday,
Whoa.
and the police had to shut it down. So I'm like, wow, is it that Americans we just worked too much? We were just always inside. We didn't have anything. We just had many other things to do, and now we have nothing to do. So we're
I
exploring
think
nature.
people with kids are actually going crazy too.
Yeah.
So they're trying to find ways to escape their children. I know everybody loves their kids, but you know what I mean. So,
Yes,
so
I
I
do.
think I don't have kids, I don't know, but I think that's part of it
Same.
too. Yeah, I love it that everyone's getting outside. It's just, I think some of the more popular hiking spots are overrun. So,
Totally. I know. It's insane.
yeah.
Okay, so like we have a million things to talk about. I want to talk to you about all the things, of course, as always,
Yeah.
because you've got lots of good answers.
Right.
And I was kind of thinking that, I know you shared this great post yesterday about, like the different types of was it cleaning supplies?
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was cleaning supplies.
Instead of Lysol, right? So,
I know, right? Exactly,
yeah.
which I thought was so great. And I guess maybe we could start with, first of all, like maybe we could talk about this virus. Like, what is this? And, do you have thoughts on it? Because I feel like my naturopath friends are incredible. You guys have such great insight into this particular virus just based on what limited information we already know.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It seems like there might be two different strains, an L and an S strain of this virus. It's not behaving like typical viruses actually, and
Mm.
it's interesting the way it binds. It gets access to the cells. It actually binds on this ACE2 inhibitor, which
Yes.
is part of a system that helps control blood pressure and constriction of the blood vessels and dilation of the blood vessels. So it's kind of a weights and balances type of system.
Yeah.
And so it binds to one of the enzymes that helps convert ACE2 into Ang1 through 7, which is a potent vasodilator. It means that it keeps the blood vessels from tightening up. It makes them loose. It gives it's anti-inflammatory. It brings lots of blood to the area, right?
Right.
So if the virus is binding there, it's preventing anti-inflammation and promoting inflammation for people. So people who are already inflamed, maybe have autoimmune conditions, maybe they're imbalanced in their immune system a little bit. That's where we get in trouble, is when we're not balanced properly.
Yeah. I agree. And so would you say, because I had Dr. Tina on Friday, and
Yeah,
she was talking about the same ACE2 receptor as
yeah,
well. I'm assuming it's the same thing.
it is. Yeah,
Yes. Okay. Right. And she was just talking generally about people who are inflamed or have, conditions. I saw that like type 2 diabetes in particular upregulates the ACE2 receptor, and then there was something else, but I don't know if it's like heart disease, like all of the above.
the issue is that ACE2 receptor is found in distinct tissue in the body, and it's found very much in the lungs. About 80% of our lung cells have this ACE2 inhibitor. It's also found in blood vessels, heart, even in the stomach and the kidneys, which is why a lot of people have things like kidney failure, or they're nauseous, and we've had reports of people throwing up, and that's because it's actually affecting the enterocytes, or the gut cells as well too, because the receptor is in high concentration in those organs.
Damn, girl. See, people, aren't you all so happy you're here right now?
I try my best. So
I was trying to explain this to some of my friends, and they sort of get it, but they're also kind of rolling their eyes at me. But I'm like, this is really serious. Like, this is something you really need to know about. And other friends of mine who I was explaining it to, who felt like this was interesting, were so amazed because they have not heard anything like this at all. Nobody is talking about this in the mainstream media at all. Like, we're not talking about the root cause of the problem here.
exactly. Everyone's rushing to make a vaccine. And I'd like to know why we're all susceptible to this virus anyway. I just don't believe that we have an inept immune system, that God was, or the universe was just like, whatever you prefer. It was just like, oh, man's got it. You can take care of the immune system. We're not helpless that way. And if our collective immunity has been lowered, I want to know the root cause of that. I don't want to just go to something that may cause future problems for us later. I'd like to know what happened to our immune system that we're not able to fight things off like we used to. I think most of your audience probably knows it's things like endocrine disruptors and the standard American diet and processed sugar, GMOs, pesticides, right? All of this, generally recognized as safe things that even the FDA approves, are not generally recognized as safe when they're in massive amounts and we're exposed to every day. And so why don't we address that problem rather than running straight to a vaccine with adjuvants and fillers that may or may not work indefinitely on this virus because it mutates so rapidly? We've already seen another strain. Possibly.
Exactly. Oh my, amen. I completely agree. Someone just said that thousands and thousands have recovered without a vaccine. Obviously, I mean, like Tina and I were talking about vitamin C, that being very effective, especially high doses, liposomal vitamin C. Like, why is it that nobody is talking about vitamin freaking C?
Only the Chinese. I think they've started case studies over there now, because if you've seen, they don't have any new cases over there. They basically got rid of everything. I think they have like 40 new cases a day or something. It's nothing. And in the US, it's like 9,000.
Yeah, I know. It's growing like at a staggering rate. I mean, New York City is basically ground zero. That's just what's so disturbing. Somebody else in the Mindshare community, which is just, for everyone who doesn't know, it's just like an online health and wellness sort of community for practitioners. And someone did a webinar yesterday on this topic, and the webinar, like, she couldn't share it at all on social media because of the languaging that she was using, talking about natural solutions for immune system support, boosting your immune system, all that kind of stuff. And she just kept getting shut down and shut down. She was like, but despite it all, I persevered and I got it out there. But, she was just like, I really have to figure out the languaging, because this is all just being suppressed. And
well, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, and doctors are really afraid to speak on things too, because if there aren't peer-reviewed studies or double-blinded placebo-based studies, then, you'll get railed by the conventional medical system, because there's not enough science to prove anything. And, then they run these scientific trials against what they choose as the solution. And we're left, well, does vitamin C work or not? I mean, there's not a lot of benefit to test vitamin C in this for a lot of corporations.
I know, right, girl? We could just go down this rabbit hole. I know. There's some good questions though. Somebody asked, like, what did you call these receptors? They're the ACE2.
Oh, ACE2. Right. Type it right here for you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Awesome.
Inhibitors.
Yeah.
And they help, like I said, control blood pressure, constriction, vasodilation of the blood vessels in the body. They also help with inflammation, anti-inflammation, because if you guys know, everything in the body, like I said, is weights and balances. Inflammation isn't always bad. Anti-inflammation isn't always good, right? Yeah. So you need a weights and balances check system there.
That's exactly. I'm always right with everything in life. I mean, I feel like it's just 101, life 101.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I just lost you. I see your plant though. There you go.
Oh, sorry. I
It's
hit
okay.
something. My plant, my dog right here.
Oh my gosh. No, it's all good. Somebody just asked about taking vitamin C. Do you take it prophylactically, or do you take it at onset of symptoms? I mean, I've been taking liposomal vitamin C from Seeking Health for about 4 weeks now because I started to feel a sore throat about 4 weeks ago, and then it went away. But I was in San Francisco and it's very moldy there. I feel
Oh
like,
yeah.
and my mother-in-law's apartment she's been there for 35 years, so you can imagine.
Yeah.
So I felt like that, and so I've just been taking it since. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
I don't think it's a bad idea. The thing with vitamin C is, you pee out if you have too much. You may get a little diarrhea from too much, but you pee it and poop it out. So you excrete it. It's not going to be toxic for you. And vitamin C is really great in times of stress. Actually, when you make the hormone cortisol in your adrenals, you need vitamin C for that.
Yeah.
So even stress can promote more of a need for vitamin C in general. And I think a lot of us are pretty stressed out there right now. So the problem is, I think everyone got the same idea because it's really difficult to find vitamin C right now, liposomal or not. Even on my platform, FullScript, everyone, it seems to be bought out. So I tell people, if you can get your hands on some amla, which is a fruit that has some of the highest vitamin C on the planet, that's really a great whole food way to get your fruit. Even red peppers have more vitamin C than an orange. So that's a great way as well. But yeah, liposomal vitamin C, I think it's great to take prophylactically during this because we're all just stressed out. And then really, vitamin C is such a great antioxidant. You're going to need probably double the amount you would normally need if you come down with symptoms because it's an all-out attack on the body. So
yeah, so true. Such good information. Can you type in the name of that? I don't know what that fruit. What is it? A fruit?
Amla, yes,
I've never heard.
AMLA.
What?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Yeah. What about
I
juicing?
believe
Yes.
it's an Indian fruit. It's used in Ayurveda quite a bit. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Amla.
that's
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep, that's a great way to get.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like everyone's asking things like, what about glutathione? What about juicing? And I mean, guys, like you should be juicing. You should
Here's
be
the
doing
thing.
the things that support your body that naturally would support your body on a good day.
Right. And, that's heat too, you guys. Heat is another way that inactivates viruses. They really are not heat resistant. And so some bacteria are, but not viruses. So it really quickly inactivates the viral capsid normally. If you can get access to a sauna or you have access to a sauna, even working out really helps to move the lymph, move everything in the body, and that helps to recirculate your immune cells, which are trolling anyway for pathogens. So you really need to circulate things to help keep yourself healthy.
Yes, absolutely. I know. Oh man,
Yeah.
if I had an
So,
infrared sauna,
I know, right? So
I would live
heat
in
is
it.
one way. I would say just making, just in general micronutrient deficiencies. Make sure you're not vitamin A deficient, which also precludes a lot of people who get measles because the vitamin A deficiency makes you more susceptible to measles. So, and that's another virus, right? So we just don't know enough about coronavirus, and we keep kind of extending knowledge that we have about other viral infections to this novel coronavirus because the studies are rolling out as we speak on the daily, and no one really knows what the magic bullet is yet, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like, there's been a lot of questions here about immune issues. Like this lady says here about what do you recommend for lupus patients who can't boost their immune systems?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you have thoughts on something like that.
You guys need to research things like, especially for autoimmunity, things like low dose naltrexone, which helps to pulse doses the opiate receptors in the brain. It is not addictive, but it helps to reset everything because those pain receptors are in intimate chemical communication with things besides pain, like sleep, like mood, like immunity, and it resets everything for people. And so a lot of my autoimmune patients, I'll put this, if they're appropriate, I'll put them on this, and it will actually help to stop their joint pains, brain fog, lift their mood and depression. And so it's even a really good source of mind for mold and limeys as well, because it helps them fight against the infection too. So someone who's immunocompromised, that's a good option if they're not already on it. Things like, not for everyone, again, not medical advice, but I really like colostrum. Or IgG immunoglobulins. These are almost like, if you've ever heard of autoimmune patients that go in to get IVIG, that's IV immunoglobulins to help reset their immune system. And there's oral ones that come from things like serum bovine in New Zealand, right? And this helps to dump soldier cells in your mucous membranes where the virus harbors, and helps you to be able to mount a response against this virus. So again, not for everyone. Some people have high serum immunoglobulins, right? So you really need a doc to have this checked out for you. But these are things that balance both the Th1 and Th2 immune systems, which make up your overall immune system, and you want it balanced.
Totally. Again, that balance word.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know. Yeah, I feel like there's so much to talk about with this because, I mean, first of all, the human body is complicated. I mean, it is, but then it isn't. And, you know, they're so nuanced. And this approach, like, we can't, obviously, everyone who's on here, Dr. Jess can't give you specific advice to your own health issue. Neither can I, although you have way more advice around the immune system than I do. I feel like this is one of those things where, like you said, it's a novel virus. So we don't really know enough about it to know what is going to potentially trigger it versus what is going to help us.
Exactly. And, you know, if I were, you know, what I'm doing for myself personally, like I said, I can't give anyone personal advice. I'll tell you what I'm doing for myself personally. And you guys can hear from a medical doctor standpoint what we do. You know, for me, I really like to think about if I lived, you know, thousands of years ago, what would keep me healthy? It would be things like proper sunlight, not too much, not too little. It would be things like clean water without environmental toxicities and endocrine disruptors and metals in it. It would be clean food straight from the earth without pesticides. It would be moving my body in honor of the ability to be able to move my body, right? And, you know, making sure all of the body is working as it should. If you guys can't poop every day and you can't sweat and you're eating bread and pasta every day, that's setting a fertile breeding ground for a virus, right? For a pathogen you don't want. So really bringing everything in line and kind of reeling in what Mother Nature gave us to keep us healthy and capitalizing on those are really what's going to keep you centered during all this. And health is really a project. It's not something you can just turn on a dime and do. It's a journey. And so if you haven't started it yet, I encourage you to start now. This is the awakening. Start now.
Yes. Can we talk about that? Like this awakening? I feel like this is so crucial for all of us to understand. This is calling us into personal responsibility like nothing ever has been, as far as I'm concerned. We have all just sort of been, like Tina said on Friday, you know, her family is very much into pharmaceuticals and they all just depend on multiple medications to get by. Whereas she moved away from that. And I did the same thing too. I mean, they thought I had rheumatoid arthritis and Crohn's disease when I was in my early 20s. And I just went through all the things and I finally gave up and I did acupuncture and changed my life. So that's kind of how I got here, right? And I know that you can definitely relate to that. And I just feel as though we need to, like, nobody is telling us what the hell to do right now. Nobody has any answers. Like, it is up to us. And for people who are asking, there are articles on the ACE2 receptor inhibitor. I found one on nutritiongenome.com. They have a whole, multiple blog posts on it. And I don't know, Jess, if you have anything on it too, or if there's places that people can find that info, but like start with this information. And like you said, it's not that hard. We have overcomplicated this to the point where it just is so confusing for people. And really, it's the basics. Like you said, sunlight, food that feeds our bodies, feeds our cells, feeds our hormones. And, you know, really figuring out how can we manage our stress during this time, because it's going to look different for everybody.
And the media capitalizes on this stress. It's advantageous for them to keep the herd in line, right?
Yes.
And if there's mass panic, they really can't control people very well. So it behooves them to really incite a little bit of panic to keep people in line and calm. So, you know, not that this isn't serious. This is very serious, and we really don't know what's happening. But I do feel like this is a reset for everyone. Everyone gets a chance to stay home and say, you know, I was going without thinking, just trying to make money and survive. And now I don't have that option. Is this the life I want to continue? Is this the healthcare system that I want to continue to see? Is this the job that I'm fulfilled in? Right? And so everyone take a moment to pause and make sure this is the road that you want to continue down with your life. If not, this is an awakening and a reset for us, and it's terribly scary because it's change. But it doesn't mean that what isn't coming for you isn't better than what you had.
Oh, so good. It's so true. I think that for most of us right now, it feels that way. We don't know, like we have the unknown is so terrifying, and we have literally no idea what's on the other side of this, or what we even have to move through to get to the other side. And as a result, I think we're all like, oh shit, what is about to happen?
It's true. And I think everyone is questioning what's truly happening, and can we trust what we're being told, and is there something else going on behind the scenes? I have the exact same questions, you guys. Yeah. I've heard the exact same theories, conspiracies or not. I've heard it all, and I have my own questions, because I don't necessarily trust the media that's owned by the same six corporations either, right? But in the meantime, we have to do our due diligence and listen, and just trust the people on the front lines right now too.
Yeah, we really do. I know. And like this idea of relinquishing the belief that we have a whole lot of control over things. Like there's a few things we do have control over, and it's exactly what we were talking about, like what you're going to eat. And I mean, not everybody has that privilege, and I understand that, but a lot of people who are watching us right now, you do, like, you have the opportunity to change what you're eating, to get out in sunshine. Like I was saying at the beginning of this, you know, I'm in Vegas visiting my sister, and 40,000 people showed up at the national park yesterday, and they had to shut it down. Like people want to go outside now. You know, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, so, absolutely. You know, and turn off your Wi-Fi, guys. That's another thing I forgot to mention. The abnormal EMR that we're exposed to, that wasn't around thousands of years ago. How does that affect our energetic body and our immune system as a whole? And not anyone can fully answer that question properly just yet. And that's what worries me, right?
Yes.
Also, what you were saying about the food, I've had a few people message me and say, you know, I'm already living on food stamps. I can't afford anything but bread. It just makes you want to cry right there seeing it on the screen. If that is anyone out there watching this, I hope it reaches who it needs to. You guys really find some organic seeds. They're so cheap. Make a little windowsill, little box to grow your own food. If you have a backyard, if you're lucky enough to have that, you know, do a little flower box full of veggies. You guys have the opportunity to do that if you're in the right climate right now, and you can.
I completely agree with that. I know. I mean, I lived in a New York City apartment, and I was growing stuff on my windowsill, like sprouts. Yeah, I mean, you know, you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So because sprouts are super expensive at the farmer's market, and I just didn't feel like I needed to spend that kind of money on those. So I would just do that at home. And I really think, like, whatever we can possibly do, this is calling us to be resourceful as hell right now.
Yeah.
And like it's really asking for us to start to look at things differently. I mean, I know a lot of people are talking about 5G and the rollout of 5G, and I don't feel like I know enough about 5G to even comment on it. So I don't know if you have thoughts on it, but I know that there's a lot of people who are interested in hearing about this.
So it's a faster frequency, a faster milliwave frequency. And really, there's been a lot of speculation. There's been speculation that right before the 1918 Spanish flu, they instituted radio waves. And so anytime there's new EMR actually introduced into the population, the symptoms can be similar to what appears to be a virus.
Right.
And, you know, it seems so conspiracy theorists, like the mainstream media would never talk about this, but yet, you know, they're in bed, the FCC's in bed with the telecommunications industry. I mean, on the way back from Palm Springs, I saw 2 linemen putting up 5G towers myself, personally, with my own 2 eyes on the 2-hour drive. And so, you know, it makes you wonder what's really going on, if this is all about a virus. I certainly would like to believe that people would be honest with us.
Yes.
And, you know,
I would too, but we know better.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying we know better.
You know, exactly. We do. Sorry, I had on the 20%, so my phone told me.
That's okay. I know, phones are busy. I actually, before we jumped on, I turned off things because I was like, the last time I was on this, we got disconnected, and it was probably because of all the things.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. We all love our phone, but, you know, we're harbored in the house where we're exposed to 5G. And if you're in an apartment, you really can't turn it off and get away from it. So I'm urging people, in case this has anything to do with it, I really encourage you guys to look at Rayonex or some other shielding technologies, shielding blankets. They make a very expensive EMF blocking paint that's like $300 a gallon. But if you used it on one wall where your smart meter was, that would be pretty beneficial to some people. Early studies on 5G show that when you put a mold petri dish near the Wi-Fi, it actually explodes 600 times in growth. New studies have shown that 2 different pathogens, Listeria and E. coli, actually were able to evade antibiotic sensitivity when placed near a Wi-Fi router that was 2.4 gigahertz, which is what we were exposed to now. It actually grew outside the boundaries of the petri dish and was able to evade antibiotics. So this is changing our microbiome and the pathogen's ability to attack our microbiome. Based on early studies, there's oxidative damage, there's DNA damage. This is linked to autoimmunity. The electrostatic smog, which is all the EMR radiation all over the world that's on the planet now. Basically, they exposed autoimmune patients to this by having them put on an electrostatic cap, and their symptoms increased 90%, based on their own, reporting. And so this is showing very concerning studies early for me for EMR, 5G, and I don't like where this is going at all. And it's, again, another technology used to possibly spy on the people, right? So
yes.
And affect our immune systems. And there's not a doubt in my mind that it affects our immune system. That's why I'm telling everyone, don't be afraid, take action and get educated. There are ways you can block this.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think that we have to. I mean, it's like, I think that everyone just has to remember that, government regulations have not been looking out for Americans for a really long time. I mean, they just haven't. And, it's we live in a corporatocracy. And the bottom line is that that's the money that is important. And if we know this. I mean, like, there are over 80,000 chemicals that were developed over the last 100 years. And 1 or 2% of them are approved. I mean, like, or considered safe. So, or even have been tested for safety. I don't even know that they're approved for human use.
They're not. Yeah.
Right. So we really have to look at this stuff. We can't just ignore this information.
No, and it's so new, and they like to say that things aren't well steeped in the literature until they're 15 years out. So all this new stuff on vaccines and Wi-Fi, they're just ignoring because it's not well steeped in the literature according to their laws. And so it's absolutely ludicrous. And how else do you wake the people up and say, listen, you guys there's nothing wrong with your bodies. It's everything you're exposed to. That's why I tell people, I don't harp on supplements and say there's a perfect, supplement you can take to help, kill this virus and rev your immune system. You're going to be golden. There's not a supplement. If you guys know me and you've seen me in person, I only give 7 or 8 supplements max in my treatment plans. And that's because I don't think there's going to be a magic bullet. It's all the other proactive things I have you doing. Enemas, ozone, infrared sauna, binder. It's all these other things, guys, including treating your stress. And so that's what you need to look at is a multifactorial type of program for you and your immunity. It's not about taking pills.
Yep. Girl, I completely agree. It's so funny, that I usually get the question similar to you. It's like, so how do I fix my period? What do I take? And I'm like, oh, no. This is like a multi-step process, my love. And, let's look at your gut health and your thyroid and your adrenal glands and what's going on in your brain and what's going on with your gut. I mean, and your liver. I mean, there's so many.
She's got it right, you guys. Aspects. You hear that? It's all with a period. It's really complicated. That's what's wrong.
I mean, periods are information.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, I like that. That's good.
Right? Aren't they though? I wrote that in my book because I feel like it's one of those things that we just don't even realize. We just think that our periods or our menstrual cycles are randomly rebelling against us, and that's actually not true. Yeah. Neither are our bodies.
EMF Blocking Paint. So yes. Rayonex. I'll spell it out for you guys here. The website they're a German company. They've got 35 years of science out of Germany now. It's sustainablesolutions.com is the website. You can put in Dr. Jess sent you if you want. Jonathan is the U.S. sales rep. His website is terrible. I apologize in advance. We've tried to tell him and nothing has happened yet. So surf around on there. You guys, they're amazing. I have them all over the house. They're little squares that actually harmonize the frequency to the Schumann resonance. There's a dipole in there, so a negative and a positive end, and its resonance is based attuned to the Schumann resonance, which is the resonance of the earth. Someone won a Nobel Peace Prize for figuring that out, guys. So there actually is a resonance of the earth. So they harmonize abnormal frequencies through these Rayonex materials. They actually make a necklace that I wear to protect my heart. They have one that they can actually tune to certain oscillations and pathogens, if you guys know what I'm saying when I say that.
Oh.
Check them out. They are really my go-to. My personal, this is what I use. I don't give anything to anybody that I don't use. Yeah. Personal, what Dr. Jess uses is Rayonex. So I love them.
Amazing. That's so helpful. I'm literally
Yes.
going to go on their site right now. So someone was just asking what it is. It's Rayonex, Rayonex.
You got
Right?
it. And
Yeah.
sustainablesolutions.com is the website.
Okay.
So, and maybe you all can all email Jonathan and tell him he needs to update his website with me.
There you go.
No.
It's a mass effort.
Yeah.
I know. So are there any, like, I know that we're at, it's already 3:30.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts that you want to share with everyone, just in terms of like final thoughts around like what people can be doing right now, as in addition to what we just talked about?
You know, I hope that people have already been on their health journey, and it didn't take this for people to really get their ass in gear. But if you did, it's okay, guys. You still can. I don't, yeah, lots of people are contracting the virus, but we have horrible test results. We don't know anything for sure. And so you can't control anything. This is a lesson in controlling your thoughts, staying grounded on earth, learning how to breathe, and knowing that the universe has your back. Okay? That's what this is about. And you will do so much more for your immune system by staying in that vibration than going towards a fear-based one. And if the conspiracy theories make you go there, then stay away. They're not for you right now. I would rather have you healthy and grounded.
I love that. Thank you so much. I really want to reiterate that to everyone too. Like, stay away from media, like the mainstream media. Yes. I was saying this to when Tina and I talked on Friday, that on, we're like flipping through the channels, and like Fox and CBS and all of these channels have counters on them of how many people in the US have the disease, how many people have died since yesterday.
They don't even know that. They don't even know those numbers. We
Exactly.
don't have a PCR test. They're making diagnoses by ruling in process of elimination. You don't have the flu, you don't have the pneumonia, you have corona. They're absolutely skewed results, and why they would give that to you guys without knowing, you just have to ask these questions.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
I know. Not be mindlessly tuned into a TV or a TV channel where people are like, they are, that's what they do. This is their goal, is to freak you out so that, you get into a panic. I mean, like, we already know this about the media. This is not any different.
When you're in a panic, you don't make proper decisions. Study after study has shown this. You're using your reptilian brain, which is the base of your brain, that controls subconscious things like breathing and your heart pumping, right? You don't think about it. So when they tap into that and you're in your reptilian fear-based mode, you make decisions you wouldn't normally make. We're going to die. We're going to die. Build walls around me to save me, government.
Yeah,
right? When you're in panic, you beg for someone to save you. And so I want everyone just to be careful of that. You are strong and your immune system is strong, and it does more. Your body's always fighting for you guys. So please stay in that positivity.
Thank you. It's so true. Like, just to wrap up, I want to reiterate that to everyone as well. It's what I say, like, when your body, there's something going on with your body, like, it's your body telling you something is up. It's not just that this random thing is happening to you. So we always have to be trusting our internal wisdom, our intuition. And I feel like that's been turned off from the time that we're really young. We go to a doctor when we're a kid and we have a cold, and they'll give us medication and it'll get better and we'll move on. But when stuff becomes chronic, you still believe that they're going to fix you or that they're going to help you. And it's not necessarily, that's just not how they're set up to work. And so the sooner we recognize that and take action for ourselves, the better. I mean, I did that. I know you've done that. Like, it's what we have to do. Right. Because nobody else is going to care about our health and our bodies the way that we care about them.
That's right. And one last homework for everyone out there. You guys should go Google a video of a neutrophil or leukocyte, whatever, a white blood cell eating a pathogen. It will absolutely blow your mind and give you renewed faith in your body.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. I love that. All right, everyone. Go and look for a neutrophil eating a neutrophil eating a pathogen.
Yeah, you got it, guys. It'll make you feel great. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Dr. Jess. Thanks, everyone. Bye. All right, everyone. So Jess is going to jump off, but I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that was helpful. Somebody said, yes, you really needed to hear this. I'm so happy to hear that. Like, this is a crazy, unprecedented time right now. Dr. Jess is amazing. She's so, so helpful. And again, like, we're both saying the same things. We really just want you to start making informed decisions, right? Not coming from a place of complete freak out and panic. And like she was saying, and it's so interesting when you look at the research on the decision-making process, when you are in that place of complete panic and meltdown, it is fundamentally true. You do not make good, wise decisions. So we have to be able to center ourselves. And I will, full disclosure, I mean, today I was definitely melting down. I've just written a book and now everything is just falling apart. And I'm like, okay, am I going to even put this book out there? Sorry. What am I going to do? And, you know, it's like literally putting one foot in front of the other, centering, grounding, coming back to myself, not listening to what everyone else is saying, because everyone's like, well, you know, you could just put your book out in the fall and it's no big deal. And lots of people are doing that right now. And I could possibly do that. But then I feel like this is information that I've wanted to get into the hands of thousands and thousands of women for a really long time. And do we need that information now, or do we need to, you know, do I need to make a big push in the fall? So for me, I'm like, okay, I got to come back to myself and figure out what feels like the right next step. And I just encourage all of you to do the same too. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being on with me and Dr. Jess today. And I will see you tomorrow. I have another Instagram Live with another amazing person. Sorry. Hold on, let me tell you all real quick, but it's on my latest post as well. So Instagram Live at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it's my lovely friend Samantha. She is a holistic nutritionist, and we'll be talking all about food and all the things that you can be eating right now to help support yourself. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for being on. And I hope that you all stay safe and continue to trust in yourselves, because apparently nobody outside of us has the answers right now. And so it's a big lesson for us to come back to ourselves. All right. Love you all. Thank you. Bye.